Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. According to Taiwanese media reports, TSMC has issued a notice to AI chip companies in mainland China that it will stop providing foundry services for these chip companies with 7 nanometers and below processes, mainly due to the influence of white gloves placing orders for chip production at TSMC, and foreign media have even reported that the United States may require TSMC to stop providing foundry services for all Chinese chip companies with 7 nanometers and below processes. Previously, the United States was shocked by the white glove order incident. Therefore, the United States intends to plug the loophole and will introduce new rules to restrict TSMC and other chip foundries from foundry for chip companies in mainland China. But TSMC's hopes are different from the United States requirements. TSMC hopes to stop providing foundry services for 7 nanometers and below processes for all AI chip companies in mainland China, but hopes to continue to foundry mobile phone chips for some mainland China chip companies. The United States requires a one-size-fits-all approach to stop providing 7 nanometers and below processes for all chip companies in mainland China. The US's approach is undoubtedly too barbaric and overbearing, but for TSMC, it is probably difficult to refuse the US's request, because the advanced process equipment, chip materials, and technology that TSMC needs are all subject to the United States, and American chips provide TSMC with more than 70% of its revenue. For TSMC, the proportion of revenue provided by mainland China's chip companies to it is not high now, estimated to be around 10%. At its peak, mainland China's chip companies provided TSMC with 22% of its revenue, but since September 15, 2020, it has been unable to foundry chips for a Chinese mobile phone company. The revenue provided by mainland China's chips to TSMC has fallen to about 6% and then rebounded. Mainland China's AI chips have formed a competitive relationship with American AI chips and are also the only rival of American AI chips. At present, there are many AI chip companies in China. These AI chip companies can be said to be flourishing, each with its own technical advantages, and relying on the huge domestic market to develop steadily. A Chinese chip company said that the performance of its AI chip is comparable to NVIDIA's A100 chip, so it has received a large number of orders, which has also put some pressure on NVIDIA, forcing NVIDIA to reduce the price of its customized AI chip for the Chinese market, causing NVIDIA to suffer certain losses. China is the world's second largest AI chip market, after the United States. At its peak, the Chinese market provided a quarter of the revenue for American AI chip companies. However, China's AI chips are quite dependent on TSMC's 7 nanometers and below processes. More advanced processes can greatly reduce chip power consumption and improve performance. AI chips often have dozens or even hundreds of cores for calculation. High integration requires TSMC's advanced processes. The United States certainly does not want China's AI chips to develop. This new market is now dominated by American chip companies. NVIDIA has more than 90% of the market share. Intel and AMD are also actively involved in the AI chip market, but they also rely on TSMC's advanced processes. The United States itself no longer has advanced chip manufacturing processes. The United States originally intended to support Intel's development of advanced processes, but Intel is currently in a dilemma, and the advanced process is not progressing smoothly. The United States has made stricter requirements on TSMC, but now the United States is in the transition stage between the current President Biden and the new President Trump. It is not known whether the United States will implement the requirement to prevent TSMC from manufacturing chips for mainland China during Biden's term, or take measures after Trump takes office. TSMC has now become the world's most advanced chip foundry, and even Samsung can't keep up. TSMC, which has no competitors, now has more say and makes a lot of money. TSMC's net profit margin has exceeded 40%, but TSMC plans to further increase the foundry price by 10% next year. It can be said that TSMC is already a money-printing machine. It is not clear how the chip appeared in Huawei's Ascend 910B AI chip released in 2022, which is regarded as the most advanced AI processor launched by the Chinese company. The US restrictions this time cover more companies, with the aim of assessing whether other companies provide Huawei with the chips needed for its AI processors. After the letter issued by the US Department of Commerce came into effect, TSMC has notified affected customers that it will suspend chip supply from Monday. TSMC declined to comment further, saying only that the company always complies with laws and regulations, including applicable export control policies. Such notifications from the US Department of Commerce are called informed letters, and are intended to bypass the complicated legislative process and quickly implement new export licensing requirements for specific companies. Chinese semiconductor media reported on Friday that TSMC has notified Chinese chip design companies that it will suspend the supply of 7nm and below processed chips to AI and GPU customers from November 11. In summary, TSMC will stop supplying 7nm and below process foundry to AI chip companies in mainland China, because the United States may have stricter requirements. China's AI chips rely on TSMC's process, and the market competition is fierce. TSMC has high profit margins and plans to raise prices.